Hello and welcome my friends, Bernd here. It's finally time for another video lesson. This week we tackle the much requested topic of sweep picking once again. Since I got quite a lot of messages in the last couple of weeks concerning different sweep picking frustrations from my students, I will show you a basic workout that worked wonders for me in the beginning. Once again, I also prepared an advanced example that will show you how I use sweep picking in my compositions at the moment. This is meant to motivate you to keep practicing. It really pays off in the end and offers quite a lot of different possibilities for arranging arpeggios in interesting ways. I also just released my brand new online course Sweep Picking Masterclass, the follow-up to my other program 10 Steps to Modern Shredding. If you're searching for a complete step-by-step guide to learn this quite challenging technique from the beginning, you should definitely check it out. It's a 10-week online course and I'm practicing all the key exercises together with you in different play-along videos. You can find the link below this video. For now, let's check out the two practical examples I prepared for you this week. This serves as a nice comparison. I showed you a basic exercise that worked wonders for me personally in the beginning and then showed you a practical demonstration of what my playing has evolved into over the years. This is something absolutely everybody can learn. It's not reserved for some special people and you don't have to sell your soul to the devil or anything like that. Everybody can do this with the right exercises. I will show you how to get started in this video. First of all, let's check out the exercise once again. I'm playing a C major 7th arpeggio consisting of the notes C, E, G and B. So root, major 3rd, perfect 5th and major 7th. Here it is once again, played a bit slower. The root C on the 10th fret of the D string, the major 3rd E on the 9th fret of the G string, the perfect 5th G on the 8th fret on the B string, and the major 7th B up here on the 7th fret of the high E string. So once again, really slow, the full arpeggio, C, E, G, B. The most difficult thing here, and the aspect that most of my students are very frustrated about, is getting rid of the individual picking strokes of your right hand. Instinctively you might play this arpeggio like that, for example. Or maybe like that if you're familiar with alternate picking already. So downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, or downstrokes all the way. While there is absolutely nothing wrong with that kind of approach in playing style, you will hit a wall at some point and won't be able to speed it up anymore. A good example and demonstration is arpeggiating a chord. We want this kind of sound here. And we won't really achieve that with an individual picking motion like that, for example. Just a completely different sound. I guess that this aspect of sweep picking is already the biggest challenge for most players because it can feel like fighting your brain a bit. Your left hand is playing an arpeggio most of the time, similar to when you are improvising or soloing over a track, so we don't want any overlapping notes here. But your right hand is in chord mode, so to say. It's not picking the notes individually as we established, similar to arpeggiating a chord. So essentially you have to tear that hand connection between chord and solo mode apart right now and form a new connection for the sweep picking motion. We work on very special and detailed exercises that allow you to build this connection quite quickly in my new online course Sweep Picking Masterclass, but for now let's continue with this workout. Watch me once again as I'm performing this exercise very slowly. Notice how I'm not picking any notes individually, it's just one motion across the strings. That is exactly what allows me to speed up this motion later when it's stored in my muscle memory, so I can play very fast without any effort at all, like that for example. Getting there might take some time and it's a real challenge to build a clean and efficient sweep picking technique, but with the right exercises you will make progress quickly. With this beginner exercise we are training a couple of different things already. First of all, we don't want any overlapping notes here, so it shouldn't sound like that for example. As you can hear, that sounds pretty terrible. Another mistake that I come across quite often with my students is generating an unwanted pull-off motion when they're lifting the fingers from the fretboard, like that for example. So that is something we absolutely want to avoid. We are striving for a clean and efficient technique right here. And of course, we also want to play in time, so always practice this to a metronome. A mistake or misunderstanding that I also often come across is what I like to call fake or rake sweeping. Here's a demonstration of that. While you absolutely can use a rake as a nice effect in your phrasing, it has nothing to do with a clean and fluid sweep picking technique, since we want to hear every note. When I'm playing like that, you actually only can hear the notes on the high E string, and the rest is a real mess consisting out of dead notes mostly. A lot of players, especially in rock and metal music, use this kind of playing as a shortcut to sweep picking, just so they can say I can sweep too. But compared to the fluid and effortless technique of their favorite shred guitar players, it really falls flat. So once you familiarized yourself with this motion a little bit, I want you to practice it in 2 different tempos to get a feeling for faster sweep picking too. This is not meant to sound perfect right from the beginning, it's supposed to give you a feeling for what's ahead. It's very important to develop this kind of feeling for the technique and to push yourself beyond your limits, but I always want you to do that in a controlled environment. So the final version of the workout, like I played it in the beginning in the practical example, is something I want you to practice after you familiarized yourself with only the slow motion, the first take. That way you can always fall back to something you can already play, the slow motion, while you're pushing your tempo and your technique with the faster motion. So once again, you absolutely need to be able to perform the slow sweep first before attempting that, because that way you always have something to fall back on that you can already play. Here's the full exercise from the beginning played once again, so you know what you have to practice in the upcoming days. Also, please don't be frustrated, it really takes some time and it's not meant to sound perfect from the beginning. I'm sure you will get there if you continue practicing. Also, make sure to set up a mirror in your practice space or record yourself with the front camera of your phone, for example. We're often much too focused on learning a technique and can't really see what's holding us back when we are practicing. That is exactly why I also made sure to include a coaching feature with my new online course Sweep Picking Masterclass. That way all students can send in audio or video recordings from their practice routine and I can analyze it in detail and give individual feedback so they can make faster progress. So make sure to check out the course if all that is interesting for you and you want to develop a clean sweep picking technique step by step. For now, let's end this video with the advanced example I played in the beginning. There I was playing the arpeggios in the C major scale or C Ionian scale. I was playing a C major arpeggio followed by a D minor arpeggio, E minor arpeggio, F major arpeggio, G major arpeggio, and then I ended on the 6th scale degree A minor with an A minor arpeggio, of course. So that is a pretty nice and dramatic kind of sound that showcases fast sweep picking and arpeggios quite well. I hope you have fun with that. I will see you in the course or in the next YouTube tutorial. Until then, have fun practicing.